That's actually quite interesting. Anything you look for evidence in the world of, you will find a reflection of. That's the interesting thing, is it's called confirmation bias. Anything you look for, you will find. You can believe and have a belief that you're unworthy, and because of that, you'll go out into the world and you'll find a reflection of that. You could have the belief that money comes easy, and then you will find that that comes in your reality. Whatever you believe to be true is reflected back to you. Now, I have a hang drum right here, and one thing I've been doing myself to break out of my old identity is I used to always tell myself a story or have an identity around me believing that I'm just not a musical person, or like believing that music doesn't come easy for me. And like I'm meant to be a speaker. I speak for a living. That's what I do. So music, that's not really me. But think about that. What I was then saying is I'm not a musician. I'm not into music. All I was saying is that my old personality, my old identity hasn't really focused on it. And because I then had that perspective, I would then block out being able to play any type of music. And while I'm not like a genius, I mean, that's, I guess, a limiting belief, right? But saying that, I've been spending like 20, 30 minutes a day playing the hang drum or playing other types of drums. I really like drums. And I've realized that since doing that, it's really changed my identity, and it's allowed me to tap into a part of myself that normally wasn't really activated. So it's like something mind-blowing. I'm not here to tell you guys like, look at me now. I'm the most amazing musician ever. But I will say, I'm just doing this as a sense of accountability for myself as well, like posting about this, because I believe that when we do things that our old identity was maybe afraid to do, or just didn't define ourselves as, we begin to break out of our own box. So I recently moved to Sedona, and Sedona's got a very magical energy. And one thing that I've been doing here, just in general, is tapping more into parts of myself that help break me out of my old identity. So playing things like drums, we got little instruments, other drums, bongo, there's a piano over here. You know, these are all things that I can practice, and as I do, guess what happens? It allows me to tap outside of the way that I used to view myself, my old identity. So part of the purpose of this video is just you showing and like helping you know you can break out of any limitation and anything that just isn't natural for you because you haven't done it consistently. You can break out of that. And all you have to do is you have to decide that, okay, I'm gonna do something that my old identity may have not defined myself at, but you begin to act as that. So one thing you could do is, if you've never saw yourself as somebody that is very into physical exercise, if you were to start doing yoga, you may eventually start seeing yourself as somebody that does yoga, being like a yoga type person. And guess what? That's gonna change your identity, especially if you do it consistently. So me doing the music and making music for 30 minutes a day begins to change my sense of identity. I'm like, wait, I am more a creative person. You wanna know something crazy too? I told myself for such a long period of time that I'm not a musical type person, yet when I was in middle school and high school, I played the trombone and I was in band and I had to learn to read sheet music and I was very passionate about it. At one point, I literally thought that I wanted to be a band teacher when I grew up for like a couple months. And then I got into forensics debate and I was like, no, I want to debate people. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. But the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is anything you look for evidence of, you will find. And you will find evidence of that. If you believe, the key to this is becoming aware of those limitations. Become aware of those stories you tell yourself. You may have a story that you're unworthy and you don't deserve certain type of love in your life. Well, you'll go out into the world and guess what? That's exactly what you're going to find evidence of. You're going to be emitting an energy that says, hey, my energy isn't magnetic, or people don't resonate with me at this deep level, and there'll be like these limiting thoughts and beliefs there. But the key to this is realizing there's so much information around us. Think about that. Let me sit down for a minute. Think about that. There is so much information around us that whatever perspective we focus on, we find. And you want to know the crazy thing? Most people hold other people in a certain frame of reality, and then they hold them there. For example, I used to work with this guy, and I used to work in women's shoes at Barney's, New York. And I worked in a women's shoe department of like maybe sometimes up to like 12 people that worked in that department. There was one guy that everybody disliked working with. They would talk behind his back. They would talk about how negative his energy was. And one thing that I did is I eventually one day went into work and decided I'm not going to view him this way. I'm going to almost act as if and pretend that he's positive and I just enjoy being around him. Guess what happened? I tapped into, and I don't know if it was me that pulled that side of him out, I ended up enjoying working with him much more than I enjoyed working with some of the other people I worked with. And we connected at a deeper level because I didn't hold that frame inside of that perspective, which then would have caused that almost activation within him. So one of the best things you can do is to become free of all the beliefs, the limiting beliefs, all the judgments about other people. And as you become more free, it's going to be a whole new world. And you can use this towards everything, even something like numerology. I love studying numerology. I think it's very interesting. I'm a life path 7. I'm an expression 11. I look into these things and I can see how it influences different parts of my life. There's like different year cycles and different life themes that like are in my numerology that really make sense to me. But even though I'm saying all of that, it's just a permission slip. A permission slip means I can use it if I believe in it, but if I don't believe in it, I won't gain the power from it. Same thing with astrology. Some people that reject astrology, it's because they may reject the permission slip. But you can use it if you want. You know, I like using these things because I think they're powerful tools, but I also am aware that it's not the end all be all. You are not limited because your astrology is not favorable. It's just showing you where the energy is and what you can then do about it. Same thing for your own numerology. You can become aware of it and then use it, or you don't have to. You can reject it. It's a choice that you have. And having that awareness is where everything flows. And if you didn't know, there is this numerology report that is completely free that I send so many people to because it's super accurate. It takes your name and your birth date, and it's able to show you your unique personality, numbers, and how it affects different themes in your life, different life cycles you might be in. Everyone that I send it to, because I promote on Instagram sometime, I get so many DMs from people about how accurate it was. Helps people gain clarity in life, understand their life purpose. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can go to aarondoughty.com/numbers, numbers, or just click in the top of the description box below. You will see it there. But once again, numerology, it is a permission slip. Astrology, it is a permission slip. Is it true? Is it not true? It depends on you and your relationship with it. But the thing that I encourage people is people that are also very into it, which I love it. So I'm not against that, but realize that you have the power within you. These are reflections of consciousness. Everything is information. Information is all around us. Numerology, astrology, different type of esoteric or occult sciences. They can be very powerful. But you are the source of it that is using it as a tool in your own life. So me in my own life, when I talk about the things that I'm doing, I like numerology, I like astrology, but I'm realizing just how deep this goes. This goes so deep. The one thing that I would say that would really kind of help branch you out of your current identity is doing something the old identity would have never done. This is what I realized before. Think about this. You know, I've been talking about this for a while. One sec, I'm just kind of redoing. I just don't want to edit the video, so I'm just doing the thing right now. So many of you have heard me say this before, so I know it's a little bit repetitive. I've talked many times about this before. But when it comes to that of me making videos daily on YouTube. I used to believe that I had to make daily videos on YouTube, and I did for 3 years, 1,500 videos in a row. And what I'm now realizing is that working really hard, I realized that I could take some of my energy back from that and just be more passionate about the couple of, 3-4 videos a week that I make instead, and that then I can get great results from that. Now, let's look at that. One perspective is I need to make daily videos because I've always made daily videos, and that's what's got me to where I am. And the other perspective is that I can make videos when I want. And I can have this belief that I don't have to make videos every day to have people coming in and reaching and seeing the content. What if I made better, higher quality stuff that was more connected to my heart? maybe more and more people that would do even better. So you see, the difference of this is both, I think, are true. It depends on what perspective I prefer to have. But here's the thing I'm realizing. It's been hard for me to let go of making daily videos on YouTube because that perspective has sustained me for so long, and it's almost like that's against my sense of identity. I make daily videos on YouTube. It's a part of who I am. One way I've had to actually wire this in is by obviously not making daily videos. So you'll notice that now videos go live on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Not on Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. That's 3 days off a week, which is so rare for my old identity. Now, which is going to get better results? It depends upon my belief in it. That is going to be the effect I get out of it. If I tell myself a story that, oh, it's not going to do as well, then it won't. I don't think it'll do as well because of my belief in that process. I believe that once we get to a high vibration as well, and we're really aligned with our passion, less is actually more. I learned this from doing something with my own body. What I was doing is I'm right now going through what is called a bulk, which means I am eating many more calories, and ironically enough, I was going to the gym 6 days a week. Now I'm only going 3 days a week. This is so counterintuitive to me. I'm like, 3 days a week, I'm going less. How am I going to get bigger? But because a big part of getting and gaining weight or getting stronger is recovery. It's working out and then not working out, so you give a chance for the muscles to rebuild. But you see, for a long time, I was rejecting that aspect of my life because I just thought more is better, more is better. Less is actually more. So now when I go 3 times a week, what I was doing as well is I was in the autopilot mind. So when I was going every day for 6 days a week, I was just kind of doing stuff randomly, and there was no real plan to it. Now what I do is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I work out, and I always push myself in each exercise to do more than the week before. So I'm not in the autopilot mind. I have to push myself beyond the comfort zone. Now in the same way, I started doing that, and within 2 or 3 weeks, I've already gained about 3, 4, 5 pounds of muscle probably. Some of it fat, but I'm bulking right now, so it's okay. I'm also eating more too, which is a lot of fun. But here is what I'm realizing. By doing less, I'm getting more. And by doing less, and this is very symbolic for me, I went from 6 days a week working out to 3 days a week, and I got better results. Now, 3 weeks later, I'm realizing, I need to do the same thing. I feel like intuitively guided to do the same thing for my business. Instead of 6 videos a week, ironically enough, that I was also doing, I'm gonna do 3 videos a week, or maybe 4 videos a week, but I'm gonna do way less. I'm gonna have more time to recover and become more creative. And now look where I am. Let me show you. I am in Sedona now. And this is so relaxing. This is so much yin energy. I'm able to really just tap into my own vibration of what I want to experience in my life. And I'm finding just magic come from this yin energy that I could just let go and just be. And that includes me playing music and me doing things that normally my old identity would not want to do. So it's becoming very magical for me. And it actually has to do with doing less. So less is more when you are aligned. If you align more to your vision, to your purpose, you become aware of the limiting beliefs that think more is better, more is better. Oh, if you work out more, then it's gonna be better, you're gonna get bigger. No, if you work out more, your energy, your muscles are gonna get more tired, and if you don't recover, then you're just tearing them down, there's no chance to rebuild. In the same way, if I just crank out videos every second of the day, eventually the quality is gonna get stamped, and also it's gonna have an effect on every area of life. So with that being said, less is more. Break out of your old identity, and as you do, you're gonna find that everything becomes much more magical. There's information all around you, and you are tuning to that which you believe to be true. And once you become aware of what that was prior, you can then change it. But until you're aware of it, it'll just be on autopilot. So become aware of it and watch how it changes your life.